Let's come back and take a look at the local dailies in depth. We start off with the Daily Nation, our torture ordeal. Tribulations, what began as a brief cross-border visit for Kenyan activists Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyo, turned into a brutal test for endurance that neither of them will ever forget. For 38 days, they were blindfolded, chained to chairs, and beaten in dark and cold dungeons. Their mistake? Traveling to Uganda to attend the manifesto launch of the country's opposition leader Bobi Wine. The story has been covered on page 2 and 3, and they say, Nicholas Oyo, "We went to Uganda because we are East African community citizens. I keep asking myself what wrong we did. What wrong did we do rather by crossing the border?"
Yes. Because if at all, and this is a question, if at all they committed any crime, the best thing would have been to subject them to the laws of Uganda. Take them to court. This is what you've done. Come jibu mashtaka hapa. Because there are laws if at all you commit a crime. But hawakuambiwa kitu yote. President alisema they're just experts in chaos. Yeah.
Now, President Yoweri Museveni, it has been mentioned here, has admitted wholly the duo what he described as chaos experts. He's quoted here again, and anasema, "They have been with us. I have their names. They were working with the Chagulanyi's group. They are experts in chaos."
Yeah.
Very casually.
They're just experts in chaos. That was their mistake. See, they caused chaos in Uganda. They're just experts in chaos. Yes.
Okay. This story, once again, is on page 2 and 3. Other quick headlines are on the front page of the Daily Nation. 4 billion shillings death threat to senior school rollout. And printing firms have declined to produce grade 10 textbooks over a debt of 4 billion shillings for grade 8 and 9 books they have supplied since 2022. A standoff that now threatens to derail the rollout of the competency-based education CBE. And all this is because the government still owes publishers 10 billion shillings for the school texts. Now, printers are demanding that publishers clear the outstanding bill before they can work on the next order.
This is a big one, and the good thing is that Wilson Sosion will be with us today. Tuambie, he's not such a fan of the CBE, but such things, because it's now a reality. The very first cohort of guys going to high school for CBE, wako tayari, washamaliza exam, they are ready, lakini hakuna vitabu. So wanaenda huko kusoma na vitabu gani? What texts? Some publishers wamesema hatu print hizo vitabu. Mulipe deni.
Why Kanjawan's order halting police hiring lifted? They say Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja wants the High Court to urgently lift conservatory orders halting the planned recruitment of 10,000 police constables, citing a critical shortage of officers and looming security threats ahead of 2027 elections. Matters Sports, teenager Kibet overjoyed of a maiden call-up to a star squad. The story is on the back page. And still on the back page, emerging stars vow to return Kenya to pinnacle of steeplechase, 1,500 meters races. And for many years, the country dominated the two events. That is youngsters Edmund Serem and Fanuel Koech, who have been shortlisted for 2025 World Athletics Awards. And finally, on the back page, Cameroon World Cup. Hopes hit by injuries as DR Congo proud. That's the Daily Nation this morning.
Okay. I'd like us now to skip that one and go to the Standard, because it's a similar story about what's happening to Kenyans across the borders. Of course, the two gentlemen who are in Uganda, they narrated their story there, and it's captured very well on the front page of the Daily Nation. That's Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyo. But at the same time, in Tanzania, there are 2 Kenyans who are said to have been killed during the protests after the elections of October 29th. Still, the government of Kenya said nothing. And this is what is captured on the front page of the Standard. Weak-kneed diplomat, and they put everything squarely at the feet of this gentleman, the Foreign Affairs CS, who happens to be the Prime CS, Musalia Mudavadi. And they say he's now facing mounting criticism for his muted response to the growing abuse of Kenyans in neighboring countries. For the abduction of activists in Uganda to the brutal killing of a teacher in Tanzania, Kenyans abroad say their government has abandoned them. Instead of summoning diplomats, like usually happens everywhere else, yes, or issuing firm protests, he's being accused of appeasing regional leaders. Yeah, he's more concerned about making Samia Suluhu Hassan happy and Yoweri Museveni. Hawa wasichokozwe. Hiyo ndo kazi yetu. Yani, as a foreign affairs office in Kenya, their job is to make Yoweri Museveni happy and Samia Suluhu happy. But Kenyans, that is secondary. Hiyo si kazi yao. He's now accused of appeasing regional leaders. Mudavadi pales compared to the US's Marco Rubio or Russia's Sergei Lavrov. Awa ukichezea an American or a Russian, awa watakumaliza. They can chew you with their teeth immediately. But when it comes to Kenya, weak-kneed diplomats, that's hapo ndio tumefika. Sio mimi nimesema, by the way. Wacheni kunikasirikia. It's there on the front page of the Standard. You cannot avoid it. Iko hapo. Na wameka hadi magoti yake hapo. Sio mimi. So those are the issues. There are people who died in Tanzania. There are people who are put in the fridge in Uganda. And there are people in Tanzania who are Kenyans, they've even lost their businesses. Just because they're Kenyans, nothing else. But nini? Anyway, that's the Standard. And that's the only story on the front page of this paper. Tuangalie huko ndani kama wana mambo mengine. Teachers, SHA, nene. A woman has sued Mary Stops, claiming her rights were violated during an abortion. I
was looking at you, Nyone, if you're going to pass that story.
This one is a very, okay, fine. Where young girls and women, probably because you see there's already, it's a dicey issue when it comes to abortion because our laws do not permit it expressly, but there are instances where you're allowed. So for this one to go out and go to court to actually say, yes, I procured an abortion, but I was mistreated during the process. This is a new one. Yes, it's there on the page 3 of this paper.
I will listen to it. The hospital allegedly performed a coerced surgical abortion without anesthesia and ignored her consent.
It is a dicey issue, and I'm saying it's before court. Probably the court will have to tell us more about what happened there, because, okay, fine. It is, he said, she said. Yes. That story about Njagi and Oyo recounting their 38 days of torture in Ugandan military camp is there as well. Yes, Mudavadi clueless, that's there as well. And asema mobile phones are remaining as the biggest headache in exams integrity. Hapo ndio watu wanafanya mambo mengi. Yeah. All right, on the back page, matters World Cup qualifiers. Tonight, there are big fixtures. Nigeria versus Gabon at 7 p.m. and Cameroon hosting DR Congo as well. Group winners Algeria, Cape Verde, Egypt, Ghana, Tunisia, South Africa, Senegal and Morocco. Well, unfortunately, Kenya tutakuwa tunaangalia. Huku tulitoka. Ni kuangalia tu. So that's the Standard today.
All right. Let's go back to Taifa Leo. Raila alivyotafuta ODM usiku Dandora. Na huku chama cha ODM kikijiandaa kuadhimisha miaka 20 tangu kibuniwe, katibu mkuu wake wa kwanza Jane Wangui Muringi amefichua kwa mara ya kwanza jinsi marehemu Raila Odinga alimtembelea nyumbani kwake mtaani Dandora akitaka kutoa chama hicho ambacho kilisajiliwa baada ya kura ya maamuzi kufanyika. Anasema kwamba afisa mkuu wa kwanza wa chama cha ODM aelezea Odinga alivyomtafuta kwa lengo la kununua chama hicho kipya.
You know, immediately after he said, na hiyo chungo itakuwa chama, watu wali register haraka sana. So he did not anticipate that people would do that. So he had to go look for those people who have already registered it. Na kuna mwingine hata alihepa na ingine ikaendeka kwa ODMK.
Wow.
Kwa briefcase kwa tuna registration yake tu anatembea anangojea wakuja wanunue chama.
Right, anasema wafuasi wa ODM hapa mbele katika kikao na naibu kinara wa chama hicho na gavana wa Mombasa Abdul Samad Nasir. The 20-year celebration iko around the corner. Is it next week?
No, it starts today. It's a 4-day event starting today all the way up until Sunday. And I think this is just one of the stories of the origin of the party. Perhaps the oldest party that we have right now that still is relevant. Can we still the oldest party we have? But how relevant is it? How many members of parliament? I think it has 1 or 2 in parliament. But this one has 85 members in the National Assembly. So yes, perhaps the most consequential party of our times. And as they mark their 20-year anniversary, time for us to understand, okay, fine, how did this party come to be? Yes.
Vidokezo zaidi mbele ni kufa kupona kwa rais. Uchaguzi mdogo utaamua iwapo kiongozi wa nchi bado ana ushawishi mlimani. Koti yampa nabii afueni ya muda. Ni kiongozi wa kanisa la Zion Fire Anointing Ministry apumua, koti ikisema asikamatwe na polisi. Na vile vile UN yataka Tanzania ichunguzwe. Wanasema kwamba kumekuwa na jaribio la kuficha ushahidi na ukweli kuhusu mauaji. Kule juu, wanaharakati walivyoishi kwa friji siku 38 kule Uganda ni habari nyingine ambayo imezungumziwa katika ukurasa wa pili.
Alright, tukiondoka pale, People Daily, Ruto's check-up abroad, Kenyans reality check at home, health crisis. So this story talks about how the president unwittingly, while mourning the death of Raila Odinga, he unwittingly said or revealed the fact that he himself encouraged Raila Odinga to seek medical attention abroad. And he said that he himself went to Dubai for a checkup. Yeah, during the same time. So I don't know, Liza, okay. So nyinyi mnaenda majuu na hata rafiki yako unamwambia aende kule, lakini Wakenya wako hapa na SHA haifanyi kazi. Sio mimi nimesema, pengine inaweza kuwa inafanya kazi upande mmoja, kwingine wanasema haifanyi kazi. So it's a reality check. Ruto's check-up abroad, Kenyans reality check at home. How many Kenyans can afford medical attention outside this country?
Maybe 1%.
Yes. Lakini hawa president mwenyewe anasema hata mimi nilienda Dubai. Post-Raila era, will Mountain and Lake finally link up? That's a story there on page 8. Kindiki moves to secure Mount Kenya amid opposition hit. Oh yeah, Kindiki. Everyone is talking about how they are taking over the position of deputy president. What will happen to Professor Kindiki? And he's working really hard to secure Mount Kenya.
Mbona unasema wewe?
Wacha kunifanya nicheke, wacha hiyo.
Tukisonga mbele, teke. The Star, headache for Gachagua as Uhuru roars in Mount Kenya. Jubilee attracting aspirants eager to run on its ticket. This story is on page 4 and 5 of The Star. Miracle as a man bedridden for over 20 years walk again. Oh wow. Ibrahim Mungai with Kenyatta National Hospital doctors after a successful medical intervention for 20 years.
He hasn't walked for 20 years.
Imagine.
Sasa alikumbuka vile unaweza tembea.
Utafunzwa tu.
Unajua, if you don't ride a bicycle for a long time, unasema okay, utastumble kidogo lakini utakumbuka.
Yes.
So probably it's the same thing. That you don't walk for 20 years but then utakumbuka how to walk. Yes.
Ruto on 4-day tour of Kalonzo's stronghold. He's here during the inspection of Wote Affordable Housing Project, and the president launches the construction of a 20 kilometers Emali Matiliku Road and commissions Kasikiu and Mikuyu bridges.
Something interesting also that happened during that tour is that he went to the Kitui State Lodge. I didn't even know there was a Kitui State Lodge. For the very first time. It's a new state lodge, so he went there for the very first time.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Graph for how billions are being looted in counties and Tech Sakaja launch. Iko na mambo. Anasema technical team wants dish in a county made permanent in Nairobi. That's The Star.
All right, Business Daily. Kenya to ban electronics imports over 12 years old. A new rule seeks to protect public from health hazards and age restrictions based on UNEP guidelines. Kenya is set to ban the importation of electronics such as TVs, fridges, smartphones, computers, and other household and industrial appliances that are older than 12 years from the manufacturing date in a war on electronic waste dumping. So unaweza imagine simu yenye ni 12 years old. Even iPhone, some models of iPhone I think are already more than 12 years old, which are being used here in Kenya. But now probably they will no longer be allowed for importation. Elsewhere, Vodacom rules out hiving off, listing M-Pesa amid CBK push. There was that push to separate M-Pesa from the main Safaricom and list M-Pesa as an entity. The mother company says, not now. On the ticker, Kenya's economy is seen growing at a faster pace in 2026, that's next year. Tanzania-based Tycoon takes 41.75% control of EAPC. That's the East African Portland Cement Company. And MPs lift freeze on new power purchase deals. Those are the stories on the Business Daily. Once again, a reminder of our panel this morning, those who will be helping us look at the big headlines. There's a lot to discuss, from Kenya's diplomacy to the politics of ODM and even the Mount Kenya region. Wilson Sosion, a veteran educationist and a unionist, also a former MP, will be in studio, alongside Dr. Peter Mbae, who is the Secretary Planning and Economic Affairs at the DCP, and Fwamba, NC Fwamba, political commentator. Do stand by for that, coming your way in a short while.
All right. Later on, we'll be having Shama Kiteme, that is he's an engineer and of course the president of Engineers Institution of Kenya, to talk about the state of engineering sector in Kenya. Kisha will be talking about Supami with Elizabeth Wanjiru, that is executive chef at Indomie Kenya. Tuangalie caricature.
Wachoraji wanasema ni